Do you want to make movie explanation channels and potentially earn over $1.5 million just like this channel has done? And the crazy part is, in this niche, the average RPM is around $5, meaning for every 1,000 views, you make about $5. This channel's most viewed video has over 20 million views, which means that one video alone has likely pulled in well over $100,000 in ad revenue. Now here's the thing, I know how this works because I've done the exact same thing myself. As you can see, I will just show you some of my channel results. This is one channel, this is about 2 years of results. I will just go through to actually show you. I'm not even regularly posting on it, but as you can see, I will show you the last 90 days. I have posted only 2 videos and it's still consistently making me over $100 a day. This is the monthly result of another channel of mine. As you can see, with 1 million views, I generated over $7,000, as you can see here. Another one here, same month, almost hit 1 million views a month and it generated me almost $4,000. And in this video, I'm going to walk you step by step how to actually start your own movie explanation channel using ChatGPT and the Level Labs, and without showing your face and without running into copyright issues. But before we dive in, I need to be clear about something. There's a lot of misinformation out there. People who have never run a Faceless channel before, they will just tell you to re-upload movies with very little added value or just copy-paste scripts, and that is the fastest way to get your channel terminated. I'm going to show you the real method that I use for my channels, and that is the one that avoids copyright issues and actually gets channels monetized. Now before we jump into the tutorial, we need to talk about something that most people completely ignore, which is fair use. This is the legal principle that actually allows you to take parts of movies, shows or other content on YouTube without it getting taken down. But the catch is that fair use only applies if you're creating transformative content. That means you can't just upload a full movie or copy someone else's video word for word. You basically have to add your own value to it. And that's exactly what a movie explanation channel does. By breaking down the story, adding commentary and narrating in your own words, you're basically transforming the content into something that is new. And that's why channels like the one I showed you earlier and my own channels are able to stay up, get monetized and actually earn money. Alright, now that you understand fair use and how to stay safe, let's start with step 1, which is actually writing your script. The first thing you need is the movie's plot summary, so you don't want to copy the entire film and you don't want to paste text word for word from just like a website. That is not transformative, which we just talked about, and here's what you need to do instead. So basically just go to Google and search for something like, I'm going to do the Minecraft movie, so I'm searching for Minecraft movie plot summary. Then you will see sites like IMDb or fanblogs that already have summaries written out, and they are under here in the synopsis. I will show you. If I just go to the IMDb page and just scroll down, you'll get to here the storyline, and there you see the plot synopsis and the plot summary. So the plot synopsis is a bit longer, and I usually use that. Then you just want to copy the text here, but we're not going to stop at that because we want to make it transformative. And that in itself is pretty easy. So what we do is just opening ChatGPT and then pasting the summary in after a prompt like this. I will give you this prompt later so you can just copy it, but just paste that. And in a few seconds, ChatGPT will generate a unique script that you can use. Now, if you want to change it, let's say you want a more humorous style or serious, depending on the actual movie, you just say something like rewrite it in a more humorous tone. Not sure if that is correct spelled, but okay. Grammarly saves the day, just like that. Now one thing you might see is that this is not 10 to 20 minutes long. That is because ChatGPT is pretty bad at making a long script in one. But there is an easy fix, so you basically have to tell it to split it up. So let's say you want a 20-minute video, that's about 3,000 words. So you just tell it to write 1,000 words for the first 1/3 of the script. Just write that there, and then it will expand it. So as you can see, and then it will write 1,000 words, and you just want to repeat that when that is done. And this is what makes your content transformative. You're not just copying, you're turning the movie into your own storytelling version, which is exactly what YouTube wants, and it's what's going to get you monetized. Now that we have got our script, the next step is turning it into a voiceover. And here's the best part. You don't even need to use your own voice if you don't want to talk on camera or you have a weird accent like me. You just basically head over to a site like Level Labs. I will put the link in the description. This is one of the most realistic AI voice generators out there. I use this for over 70% of my channels. And as you can see, I'm already over my monthly subscription, but it's just too good of a software. And if you compare costs to actually hiring a voiceover versus using a site like Level Labs, it's just so much better. So to actually make the voiceover, you basically go to the studio tab here, and then when you're here, you basically just paste your entire script. And I'm just gonna remove the parts that I don't actually want the voiceover to actually say. When you've done that, you want to choose a natural sounding voice, something that doesn't sound very robotic. So to do that, basically go back to Level Labs, click on voices, and here you can just filter through whatever settings you actually want. If you want in an entire different language, you can do that. You can choose the accent, what kind of category you want, if you want a male or a gender, if you want someone who's old narrating or someone who's young. So just spend time looking through the library there. When you've done that, you want to just select your voice here and you want to click export. And now we have basically got both parts we need. We got a unique script and a professional sounding narration. Next up is actually putting it all together in the editor. So we're using CapCut for editing, but a quick note on actually getting the movies themselves. Obviously, I can't tell you to go out and pirate films. That's not legal, that's against YouTube rules, and it could put your channel at risk. But for most channels in this niche, they aren't like sitting there ripping high quality discs. They're pulling their footage from simple sources, like for instance digital copies or downloads that they already own, rental or streaming platforms where you can just screen record short sections with programs like OBS, for instance, or even just grabbing clips you find online and re-editing them into your own movie explanation. Like you can go to YouTube and you can write Minecraft movie clips and you will find a lot of clips that you can download, which is basically what I've done. I basically downloaded a 2-minute scene from the Minecraft movie that I'm going to show you how to edit. Now the important step isn't really where the footage comes from, it's what you do with it. If you just re-upload scenes with no changes, like you will get struck down, as we have talked about before. But if you cut it, narrate it, and explain it in your own words, that's when it becomes transformative content, and that's what YouTube lets you monetize. So the editing process with movie explanation channels aren't too complicated. You just basically have to line up your narration with the visuals so it feels like a smooth story. But there are some essential things that you need to understand. First step is you want to mute the audio completely. You don't want any sort of audio in the whole video. That is very important because you would just get instantly claimed if you use any sort of audio. So just mute that. So next step is actually cutting the clips. So I would recommend cutting every clip down to 8 to 10 second max and then actually going into another clip. So you don't want to just upload long uncut scenes like this one and just like slap a voiceover over it. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't be looked at as fair use and it wouldn't get monetized. So to actually cut clips in CapCut, basically just go into the frame you actually want to cut. So let's say I want to cut here. So basically click the split here or Control plus B. Just see, I will just see here. So this is 15 seconds. I will basically just cut this and just show you, just drag that. So basically, if I wanted to do a movie explanation channel, then let's say I had a voiceover saying that the group arrived in the village, for instance. So I would just basically show this, and here with the villagers, I would just cut before that lady appears on screen. So just split that here, and I would just delete this and this. So basically here, it just shows something like this. And that's basically how you can do it. So other things you can do is actually change the speed. That can definitely help if it's some slower scenes like this one. You just want to click the speed here, and here you can adjust the speed. So I wouldn't go crazy with it, but like something like 1.5x, as you can see. Speeds it up a little bit. Can even do it more. Maybe not that much, but yeah, you get the point. You can also add some effects to like really make it stand out to other videos. So like for instance, I'm adding a vignette like here. Just add that to the whole thing, something like that. You can also add transitions. So I'm going to click on transitions here, and then I'm going to find something that just looks nice. put it in between the clips, as you can see. And as you can see, it has a nice little transition. Another great thing with CapCut is that you can just generate captions based on what is actually being said. So I don't have a voiceover here, but like, let's say I just wanted to, just to show you, kind of generate the captions for when the people are actually talking. So let's for this one, for instance, I'm just gonna actually turn up the volume and then just hit generate. And as you can see, you will get captions for what is actually being talked about in the auto clip. And you can just change the style here. You can make it your own, but there are some presets here that you can use. Just mess around with that and make sure it has some brand consistency, and that is just one way to actually make it a bit more unique. Now we're going to cover what is probably the most important step, and that's your thumbnail and title. And I like to call this your packaging. And honestly, packaging is the difference between a video that gets a few million views like this one versus a video that only gets a few thousand. Like, think about it. If your packaging is bad, nobody will even click on your video. It doesn't matter how good your explanation is or how well you edited the clips. If the thumbnail doesn't grab attention and the title doesn't spark curiosity, then people will just scroll right past it. And what most beginners do wrong is that they get lazy after being done with the editing. They would just upload a video called Minecraft Movie Recap with some random screenshot from the movie as the thumbnail, and that is boring. That doesn't stop anyone mid-scroll. Just think about it from another person's perspective. Like, why would they click on that sort of video? What works is making your thumbnail and title intriguing. Something that makes people curious, makes them feel like they need to know the answer, or that the story is more exciting than they remember. And that is why these movie recaps channels do so well, is because they have an intriguing packaging. As you can see, the thumbnail isn't overcrowded with text or random images. They just keep it clean, bold, and eye-catching. They basically just use, as you can see, a dramatic scene from the movie like these do. And you can even include a simple text like this one, this Minecraft movie recap does, which I will show you how. And that's how you stop people mid-scroll and get them to click. Now, when it comes to titles, you want to write titles as a mini story, like this channel does very well. The title itself teases the plot in a way that just instantly makes you curious. So just look at these examples. Too handsome, he wears helmet to school to avoid shocking the girls, and that got 22 million views. Another one here, girl always wears box due to her ugliness, but surprises everyone when she opens it. Again, 22 million views. Notice how these titles aren't boring labels. They don't sound like typical movie names. They're basically just short stories. They describe the situation in a way that instantly hooks your brain and makes you want to actually click on the video. And that's the formula you want to use. Instead of saying Interstellar explained, you basically say something like, man travels through black hole to save humanity but gets stuck in another dimension. Or instead of Shutter Island recap, you basically say, detective investigates a psychiatric hospital but realizes that he's the patient all along. And just doing a simple thing like that can be the difference between a few thousand views and millions. So when you understand that, let's actually make the thumbnails. And the goal, remember, is to make it eye-catching and easy to understand at a glance. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Now here's exactly how you do it. Basically go to Canva, totally free site, and you want to open a YouTube thumbnail template. And then you just want to upload a screenshot from one of the most dramatic or emotional moments in the movie, or just like the most intriguing parts of the movie. Now then you can just edit a bit of the, kind of the brightness and such, the color grading, as you can see, taking the contrast maybe. If I want to highlight a bit, add some more shadows or reduce it. I'm just messing with the settings here, but you just basically want to do the same thing to actually see what works best. If I want some vibrance, I can do that. As you can see, makes the thumbnail pop a little bit more. Saturation, texture here, if I want a bit more sharpness, I can do that. Maybe a bit less clarity. Just something like that, really quick, just makes the thumbnail pop a lot more. And then you can just add a simple text, so just 3 to 5 words max, something that actually matches your story title. So for example, if I did a movie about Interstellar, then I would write maybe Trapped in Time, or for Shutter Island, maybe like The Patient Was Him. So just showing you The Patient Was Him. Now this doesn't apply to this movie, but I would just show you. And I would just choose a kind of strong font. So maybe something like Open Sans. The patient was him. Now I would just make that big, something like this. And I would take that down a bit. Then I would move it to somewhere like this, and I would make sure that there is a lot of space between it like that. And I might actually do it in just upper caps. Something like this. As you can see, yeah, that looks better. Then I would make this white. There, and then I would add a shadow to it. So just click on effects here, click on shadow, and I would make sure that the color was black. And then I would usually make it blur a bit, take on the transparency to full. Then you just want to choose whatever direction you want, kind of how the offset, just something like this. That looks decent. You might want to actually change the font to something that looks a bit better. But just something quick like this can work. Now, the key is don't spam your thumbnail with text or clutter. Just make it clean, bold, and intriguing, because that's what works best. And remember, when people see your thumbnail, they see it amongst many other thumbnails, and from a perspective like this, they basically see it from this perspective. So you don't have to worry too much about details. And also, people don't read long titles on thumbnails. They notice these big emotional words plus like a striking image. That's what kind of gets them to click. Now, this is how you do it. This is how you actually make movie explanation videos. And if you stay consistent, you can absolutely make some serious money just from ad revenue, like me and all the big channels I showed you in this niche. But here's the real secret. Ad revenue is only a part of the game. The reason I've been able to scale up to $50,000 a month with YouTube is because I combine it with affiliate marketing. And that's where the real money comes in. And I want to show you exactly how to do the same thing. That's why I put together a free school community where you can get, I will show you, a complete YouTube masterclass for free. Basically everything you need to know to actually start your first channel. I also have all the tools and resources I use to just make this so much easier. There are tons of AI tools now that just basically make it 10 times easier to actually run a profitable Faceless YouTube channel. I also have an exclusive niche list that is updated every single week. In case a movie explanation niche might not be your thing, then you can find a lot of inspiration inside here. Videos and case studies I don't have on YouTube, and I also have a freelancer list. So if you want to outsource the work, then you can check that out. And most importantly, in my opinion, is just having the community. Having a community of like-minded people all building Faceless YouTube businesses together is just gold. Like I will show you a member here, Bobby, he made $15,000 in a single month just from ad revenue, just using the simple strategies that I teach. So if you want to learn the strategies on how to build a faceless YouTube business, the exact systems that can take you from your first $1,000 a month all the way up to $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, even $100,000 plus a month, then hit the link in the description, join it for free, and I'll see you inside. Have a great day.